Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's see where we left off here. I don't really like getting an endless circle of persuasion checks. I tend to get that when I want to, that's how your GM would do it, right? Every time you would fail, you would fail all those checks. You would just keep on going until eventually you got what you want. But that's not necessarily how we work this in this whole role-playing game. But that's okay. I did get the information I wanted, which is what's important. So yes, I believe when we last left off here, Emmett's sister had said that Emmett had gone to the woods to look for his friend, who has unfortunately come down with a bad set of werewolfism. So, but she advised that I wait for him to come back to see what he found, and then I could speak to Emmett when he came back. And so it's kind of getting to the middle of the day anyway. You know, Isaac rode here early in the morning, and you know how Isaac feels about staying in the heat of the day. So he wanders back in, nods to the elf bartender behind the counter, and heads upstairs to the room. I think I'll just take a rest up there for a couple hours, but not an official rest. I guess I probably could. I am still a little bit wounded here, aren't I? No, I'm all in good shape. Yeah, okay, so no official rest, just a little bit of relaxation. I think he'll head back out maybe about 4 o'clock if he hasn't heard. But hopefully his sister will say yes. About in the afternoon, late afternoon, heading towards evening, there's a knock on the door. Isaac opens it up. There's a man there wielding a sword and a crossbow. Excuse me. He introduces himself as Emmett. Isaac says, "I'm Isaac Loosejaw. I really came to this town to see Simmons, but I have heard of his plight from Eleanor Smythe." And it's like, yeah, he's my friend. I don't know what happened. He was fine a couple days ago, and according to Eleanor, he turned into a giant wolf man and ate all her chickens and ran off in the woods. I was trying to find him today. He's not come back. You didn't have any luck finding him? No. I suppose you don't. I suppose you don't have a town guard or anybody here. No. He says, "Well, I don't know much about werewolves either, but don't they turn back into normal people during the day?" Emmett shrugs. Emmett seems like a nice young lad, but he's obviously at a loss for what's going on here too. So, well, he says, "Well, maybe I can help you. I can't say I'm a tracker, you know, but he needs to be found before he hurts somebody." Emmett says, I agree. I am prepared. I've been looking for him." And he hoists his crossbow, and he says, "You know, I've got some sleeping darts for my crossbow that was made by Eleanor. I think if I can shoot him with this crossbow, I can put him to sleep and knock him out, and maybe be able to take care of him then." And Isaac's like, "Well, what do you mean take care of him? Do you know how to cure lycanthropy?" Emmett says, No, but he's got a firm basement in his house. Maybe we could lock him up there until we find a cure." It does spike a thought with Isaac. Wait a minute. Who does he know? Who has a cure for all ailments? That's right. Willard Quackenbush. Willard Quackenbush. He said he had an ability to cure anything under the sun. I like your thought, Emmett. Well, how are we going to take him back here? You're just hoping to put him to sleep and we can take him back? Emmett says, well, I have a bear trap, and I told the blacksmith that maybe we could make some manacles or something and maybe tie him to the wall. Oh, well, I gotta, as he says, well, I gotta admit that blacksmith was not exactly friendly to me earlier today. I'll talk to him. He knows we need help. Okay. All right. Let's see what we can do. They go back down. The blacksmith's still working away at his. But when Emmett shows up, the blacksmith smiles and takes off his earmuffs. Obviously, he maybe likes the young man certainly better than me. He kind of looks at Isaac and just kind of scowls at him. Well, Emmett, did you find him? No, I didn't find him. I searched all day. I don't know. He might have gone north to some of the abandoned farms, but I didn't find him anywhere. All right, Emmett, don't worry. I did make some manacles. If you're able to knock him out, put those manacles on him. Maybe you can carry him back to Simmons' shop and put him and lock him up. We'll find a solution, young kid. Don't worry about it. We'll find a way. That's when Isaac finally speaks up. I know a merchant and an herbalist who might know how to cure lycanthropy, but he's been in Highcar and he may be on his way back. The blacksmith says, on his way back, who? Willard Quackenbush. Blacksmith. That con artist? He's shady as can be. You think he'd actually have a cure for this? Shady? Well, it's like he didn't seem shady to me. You're wearing a pair of his earmuffs. Well, even a broken clock's right twice a day. Oh, okay. It's like, oh, well, nevertheless, he said he had ability to cure any ailment that suits you. Maybe he could cure such a thing. Blacksmith's like, Emmett, why don't you have your sister go to the crossroads and keep an eye out? When did you see this Quackenbush fellow? As he thinks about it. Well, I think it's been 2 days, and I believe he said he wasn't going to spend a lot of time in Highcarn. He could be on his way back. 2 days ago? He thinks maybe 3? All right. And go tell your sister to take a look out the crossroads for Quackenbush. We may have to ride and find him if that's the case. Oh, here's the manacles. And he hands Emmett the manacles. What's your name, Hobgoblin? Hobgoblin? Well, you're one of the first to recognize me. I come from the South originally. I remember your kind. I was once beset by bandits who took over my smithy way down south. Oh. Isaac's okay, I see. My name's Isaac Loosejaw. You better not do anything wrong to us, Isaac Loosejaw. I'll come from your head. Wow. It's like takes a step back. Okay, don't you worry about it. I need to speak to Simmons. I'm here to help to do what it takes. Isaac says, let's go. They get out of here. They head back. Emmett addresses his sister. Gretchen, could you go to the crossroads? Gretchen's like, huh? Why would I go to the crossroads? I'm not hanging around out there. Like, we're looking for that Mallard merchant. Remember him? Which one? You know, Quackenbush. That old scoundrel? Yes. Yes, Isaac says that he claimed to have a cure for everything, including maybe what's getting Mr. Simmons. Gretchen says, "Okay, I'll wait at the crossroads, but I'm not going to stay there long after dark." Emmett says, "That's probably a good thing. It starts getting dark. You should probably come back." He says, "Okay." She heads off to the crossroads to wait for Willard Quackenbush. We got a little plan. He says, "How do you know where he went?" "Well, Eleanor said he went north." "What's up with the north?" "Well, more farmlands up the north, but some of them are abandoned." He says, "Okay, well, okay. Can anyone hear tracks?" "No, we're just farmers here, sir. We're simple folks. I'm about the closest they have to a hunter tracker here because I don't own a farm. I hunt rabbits and other things, but I guess I've seen wolves occasionally, but I don't normally track them." Okay, young man, don't worry about it. We'll go see what we can find. Maybe we'll ask Eleanor if she has more specific instructions." "Oh, okay. I go back down here, speak to Eleanor a little bit. I like moving around this map. Eleanor's still sitting there kind of on her front porch looking about as enthused with life as always. "Emmett, you're back." Yes, Miss Eleanor." Oh, I couldn't find him." She's like, "Well, you got those poison darts. You better find him. Nightfall's coming. If he comes, I don't have any more chickens left. You know what that means." I understand, Miss Eleanor. We'll try to find him." "You might want to go up by the old man's farm." "Old man? He's up there by himself. Irvin, we don't know what might happen. You may want to check on Irvin. That old man, you know how cautious he is about his farmlands. We wouldn't want him to get hurt. He's by himself up there." Yes, ma'am. We'll go see old man Irvin." So it's like, okay, this is just a tour of small town life. So Isaac and Everett head up towards the only supposedly populated farm, main one of the north. How about I get a little map set up here? Since we're leaving town, going on an adventure. 1 second, I'll get that map set up. Okay, there we go. Hey, look at that. I love a chance to build a good map. So, Emmett and Isaac travel a road up north, way up north for the farmlands, the virtual farmhouse. I think maybe I gotta get my dice out. I do need to make maybe something of a hunting and fishing roll. I kind of try to verify whether we use bushcraft, whether we use hunting and fishing. I think for tracking, I still think hunting and fishing would probably work best for tracking. So Isaac isn't really a tracker. He's kind of a knight. But nevertheless, anyone's got skills on it. So I don't think it's too bad an idea to at least see if you can find any tracks for Werewolf Simmons. Let's take a look. Is this got a hunting and fishing of 5? That's a failure. Wow. Okay. Where's my pencil? That's not great. So I've been rolling a lot of demons. This is my third demon roll I've made today. I can't get rid of it. I've used my lucky coin. We're still on technically the same shift. So as they're traveling up north, Isaac spies some tracks on the ground and shoulders Everett. He's like, "Oh, look! I think I see wolf tracks. That might very well be him." Emmett's like, Emmett's like, "You think so?" I was like, "Yes. It's probably him. Let's track him down." They follow the tracks for a good amount of while, and I'm gonna up my coin, my failure token. They waste. I would say maybe they waste an hour and a half before they realize they're not. It's not even really valid werewolf tracks. They come. It may have been wolves. But those tracks lead nowhere, and they waste about an hour and a half worth of their time, to the point where it's now really, really close to dark. By the time they get back, darkness has fallen, and they've lost a lot of time to prepare. So they go back to the hut and they knock on the door. A wolfkin comes out, holding a short spear. Doesn't look very happy. "Oh, you boy, what are you doing here this time of night?" Of course, daylight just fell an hour ago. And it's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Irvin. Eleanor sent us to see you. Eleanor Smythe. What does she want? Did you hear what happened to Mr. Simmons? Simmons? What, the grocer? What, he failed to balance his checkbook? He's turned into a it steps in a werewolf. He's turned into a werewolf. Werewolves? I'm a wolfkin's son. We don't worry about werewolves. I don't see how this is a concern of mine. Why are you here? Emmett says, "Well, Eleanor, boy, we're going to be here all night. Can you get it together?" Emmett takes a few deep breaths. "He's loose, sir. We don't know where he is, but he headed north. We just thought we'd check." Old man Irvin Flynn takes a deep breath. "You don't think he'd come after my chickens, do you?" Emmett says, He killed all of Eleanor Smythe's chickens. There's none left. And she thought maybe..." "Oh, I see what it is." Old man said, "She wants my chickens." I don't think that's what she's concerned. "Oh no, that's exactly what she wants. She's been after my Russian blue chicken." Oh, they don't have Russian blue. There's no Russian blue. She's been after my model blue chicken for years. It's a special hatch. I refuse to give her any of my eggs. The eggs of those Russian model blue chickens are the best chickens out there. That's what she's looking for. Sir, I don't think that's it. I think she's scared for." And suddenly, piercing howl breaks through the night. Old man Irvin does a 180, a 360, does a 360 a couple times. He's like, "Well, boys, if you're going to do something, you better do it fast. You better protect my chickens." Of course, sir. We Old man Irvin goes back in his house and shuts the door. And he hears a big heavy bolt go past the door. Another piercing howl breaks the night. Emmett says, looks frightened and scared. He pulls out his crossbow. It's okay, Everett. Let's go. Let's check. We'll go take a look over it. And sure enough, out of the darkness comes a frightening, scary werewolf. Looks like he's headed indeed towards the chicken hutch. He spots the two men, lets out a fearsome howl. We're rolling for initiative. The way this combat's hoping to go, wow. Isaac draws his sword. Says, Emmett, I'll keep him busy. You've got to hit him with that crossbow bolt if we have any hope of putting him to sleep and keeping him safe. Emmett, sure enough, he gets ready to load his crossbow bolt. I'm going to try to fight some rounds and not die. And not kill the werewolf if by some weird stroke of luck that happens. Emmett's going to get one shot with his crossbow a turn. He's not very skilled with it. I'm going to say he has a skill of 10 on his crossbow skill. He's got 8 darts. Hopefully somewhere in that 8 darts he'll hit a 10 and hit this werewolf. Maybe he'll hit the first round. It'll be quick and easy. Well, initiative for me. Initiative for Emmett. And this werewolf is pretty ferocious. He gets 2 initiative cards too. Well, you know, Emmett goes first. This may not be as bad as you think. This might go well for us. But let me show you the werewolf here real quick. Let's see. Werewolf is a little bit spooky. There he is right there. So they did a pretty good job once again with those tokens. Match the picture quite well. Ferocity 2 attacks. Movement 16. Sure, they don't have any armor. 32 hit points. Not terribly bad as that's concerned. Talked about them being a shapeshifter. Talking about lycanthropy. But they take half damage from non-magical weapons except fire and silver. Isaac has a normal weapon, so he will be taking half damage from Isaac's weapons. Didn't have any silver other than silver coins, so Isaac doesn't have anything that can do anything about that. And he can pass lycanthropy to whoever he bites. Not so great. If you come down and become a werewolf, it says here, congratulations, you become a monster under the GM's control. So maybe instead of Sir Isaac Hobgoblin Knight, next episode will be Sir Isaac Werewolf. We'll see what happens. Anyway, he's got a ferocious howl for a fear attack of his, and summons wolves to assist him in battle. We really don't want this one. That's kind of cool though. I like that ability. Wolves will arrive in D3 rounds to help him. That could be spooky. A claw attack, probably the easiest thing to deal with. Drooling Jaws, 2d10, which is pretty brutal. And this is where you can catch his poison. Lycanthropy, I have to make a poison check on that. I can parry that attack. He's got a surprise attack that does some damage, and also a resist fear. Once again, not a problem. 2 fear attacks, but still 2d8 damage. He's got a fearful throw, which can knock me prone. Throwing me 2d8 damage, 2d8 meters, and get dazed and prone. So that would be a bummer. And Berserker, this is a crazy one. Does 2d10 slashing damage. Another fear attack. However, he will become exhausted as a result. And it's possible we can persuade the werewolf to calm down. And he might try to flee the scene. That's kind of cool. And he misses his next attack. In a way, Berserker might not be the worst thing in the world. Unless I take a huge amount of damage, in which case I'd feel it would be the worst thing in the world. Okay, so there we go. Let's give that a shot. But this might be quick. I'm going to say it's going to take at least a round for that sleeping toxin in a crossbow to hit. So not only does he have to hit with it, but it's going to be an additional round, like a full round after that, before that toxin actually knocks him out. Werewolves don't really have, well, they do have an opposed save, but I don't think I'm going to worry about that, not for this particular story. The point is to capture him, put him to sleep. I'm not looking for, that's the point of this exercise. Let's not make it any more difficult than it can already be. Emmett, 10 or lower. He hits with that sleeping tart. What do you know? 9, barely, just kind of what he needs. He pegs that thing with a bolt from his crossbow. The crossbow does, I'm going to say it's not really a lethal, it really is kind of a crossbow bolt. I'm going to say it does a d6 damage. It's not exactly a heavily damaging thing, but it does 6 points of damage on it. Wow. Okay. So he gets hit by a dart for 6 points. Let me get out some scratch paper here so I can keep track of what's going on. Okay. Werewolf. There. Wolf. That is a young Frankenstein joke for you kids at home. Okay, 24 hit points left. Emmett, if it comes into play, has 11 hit points. That's being generous. I'm going to say he has 10 hit points. Just an NPC, minion. He's got a crossbow. 10, don't think that matters. Sword, 10. Okay. But he hit. Good job, Emmett. You might just made this battle very survivable and easy. But the werewolf goes the next 2 attacks. So I guess that's a good thing that I go after in a way. I can try to parry or evade depending on what he rolls. All right, werewolf attacks me just like that. A 1. That's probably the best one around. That's just the fear attack, right? Everyone in 20 meters must make a will roll to resist fear. This is the summon D3 wolves in D3 rounds. Oh dear. Is it going to spend 2 points to resist fear automatically? I'm going to say Emmett has just a 10 willpower. He's going to make a willpower check to resist fear. 8. Oh, good job, Emmett. Good job. Good job, young man. Emmett resists fear. There's going to be 2 wolves arriving in 2 rounds. I want to make note of that. 2 wolves in 2 rounds. Okay. That could be tricky. Can I put down a couple improvised weapons? I don't think I need them. You know I love improvised weapons. I put them down every combat. I don't forget. Okay. Let's lay down 2 improvised weapons. I'll put them over here. A viper, yeah, picking that up. I'm not. A stalagmite. I'm gonna say it's a giant tree trunk. Maybe this tree trunk over here. If I could shove an enemy within that tree trunk, it'll inflict D6 damage and knock him to the ground. He has a chance to dodge that attack. Okay. Anyway, that was his first attack. Let's go with his second attack. 4. That's a surprise attack. Hurls itself to me as low at the end of the lowest hit points. Well, that's okay. I'm in front of him. I'm blocking him. 2d8 slashing damage and another fear check. I'll take 2d8 damage. He's not going to attack Emmett. Emmett's kind of behind me. He can't get past me. It's a narrow, luckily, fortunately, a very narrow gap here between these two houses. But I do take 2d8 damage. You know, I'm gonna try to evade. Heck yeah, I'm gonna try to evade. Let's see if I can evade that attack. I can. I have an 11 evade, but I do have a Bane because I am wearing armor. Let's try it. We'll give it a shot. 60% of the time, it works 100% of the time. A 19 and a 14, that wouldn't have worked no matter what I did. So I failed to evade. And now I'll take 2d damage. Two, 3, 5. My armor does take care of that damage. He's gone. I think I'm going to try to trip him. Especially now that I know he's been hit by that boat. I think I'm going to just try to knock him to the ground. Let's see. I need to pull up the rules on that. I have not actually... I was commenting the other day, I've not used any of these special attack rules. I've just been doing the night thing, which is just killing things so they can't move anymore. But I don't really want to kill this werewolf. I'd rather try to topple him. You try to topple him to the ground instead of inflicting damage. This is handled with an opposed roll between your skill level and the weapon you are using and the enemy's evade. If your weapon has the toppling feature, which does not, you get a boon. The attack counts as an action for you, but not your opponent. It cannot be dodged or parried. And in fact, the way you use this is plan work that other person topple. Okay, right, well, I don't need to worry about that. Okay, so if I remember correctly, when I looked earlier in this book, all monsters have like an effective 15 for skills when it comes to these kind of things. Let me just refresh my memory again here real quick. I was pretty surprised about how much they have. Monster attacks, let's see. Let's see. Monsters can have skills, but they may in combat. They only attack for monsters. For instance, you can try to topple a monster, rolling against the default evade skill of 15 for all monsters. He doesn't have 4 legs. Well, not really. Not technically. Technically, yes. Technically, no. He's still a werewolf, not a wolf. So yeah, he has a 15 skill, so he has a pretty good odds of not being toppled, but I'm still going to try it. Do I have to hit first? I assume... What? Let me go back and look at this. Hold on. I assume I have to hit first, right? In addition to trying to hit an enemy, there are a few special attacks you can be common. Must always declare using a special attack before rolling the attack. 0 attacks resolved by opposed rolls. And rolling for an NPC without this gun question. Okay. You are trying to topple him to the ground instead of inflicting damage. Handle with an opposed roll between your level skill and your weapon and your enemy's evade. Oh, that's right. So it's an opposed roll. So he rolled a 9. I think before I moved it succeeding, I have to roll an attack as an opposed roll. 14. I failed. He succeeded. So he is not toppled. I'm going to... I think I'm going to shove an enemy into this tree and knock him to the ground that way. Yeah, I'm going to try to shove him into this tree and knock him to the ground. Once again, he can dodge. I'm not going to pick up that viper, so I'm going to let that stand. Isaac shoves him and follows up with a shove into that tree, attempting to knock him to prone, which he does. Does d6 damage. 2 more points of damage on Werewolf Simmons. Bring him down to 22 hit points. And he's toppled to the ground, right? Automatically d6 bludgeoning damage, plus damage bonus. No, I'm not worried about damage bonus. Attack can be dodged, but not parried. Oh, it can be dodged, though. Okay. He can't dodge, right? He doesn't have any attacks. You can't dodge without using a skill. I guess I should have thought about that for the... Well, the topple is still kind of an evade. It's quite a different attack, I think. I don't think you have to have it. But this can't be dodged because he doesn't have a dodge skill. So he does indeed, because he's out of action, so he does indeed get knocked to the ground. Okay, great. That was that. New initiatives. This werewolf's going to get a full round to go. Oops. I want to shuffle my improvised weapons in there. Like I said, it's going to take another full round for that poison to take effect. This feels really light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Have I been playing long enough now when I can tell I'm missing some initiative? Something just doesn't look right. When you feel it, you're like, wait a minute, this feels a little light. Here they are. That's right. Okay, here we go. That's funny. You can tell I've been playing this long enough. I can tell what 10 cards feel like. It's not 10 cards. Like, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. Okay. Izzy. Emmett. Werewolf. Okay. I have one attack that goes after his first attack. I think that's okay. Emmett's okay. Emmett doesn't want to kill his friend. He knows the sleeping dart's hit, but he's still kind of worried that is one dart enough? How many darts is it going to take? He'll probably shoot again. I go first. I'm going to swap. Yeah, I am going to swap because the werewolf is prone. So I'm going to swap initiative with the werewolf. Werewolf's going to use one initiative to stand up. I get 2 attacks. I'm going to try topple him again. It's an opposed roll, so I got to hit with my sword skill. 14, that's a miss, and he has to roll, and that's a miss. 2 misses. Doesn't topple him. Doesn't have any impact at all. I'm going to try this again. Let's topple. Sword roll. 11, that does hit. Topple, 14, he has a 15. We both succeed, so still no topple. So really hard to topple. He has to fail and I have to succeed. And on the opposed roll, the topple feature, I get a boon. Counts as an action for you, but not your opponent. Okay, yeah, I did handle that topple right. Cannot be dodged or parried. Okay, all right, right. All right, I tried to topple twice without effect. Emmett's going to try to shoot with his crossbow with another sleeping dart. That one hits too. He pummels him with a second sleeping dart just to make extra sure, and does a d6 damage just to make sure Simmons' werewolf topples to the ground. 20 hit points. We also got a timer, by the way. This is the second round. One more round for those wolves to show up. Emmett went. Werewolf gets to go. Werewolf hits. 5. I think that's very bad, right? Wasn't 5 one I don't want to touch? Forceful blow. The monster grabs an opponent, lifts over his head before throwing the victim 2 to 8 meters with tremendous force. The victim taking the same amount of bludgeoning damage, becomes dazed and lands prone. I don't know how he picks me up with my chainmail and my heavy armor, but nevertheless, he picks me up and throws me 2 to 8 meters. Let's see how much that is. There we go. 3, 7, 10 meters he throws me. That's 5 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. And I get knocked prone and dazed. And I take 10 points of damage. My armor still covers 7. So I take 3 points of damage. And I'm prone and dazed. I'll make sure to check the dazed thing here on my sheet. That's agility. And at the end of that round, the werewolf topples to the ground. Unconscious. Isaac stands up. Emmett comes and says, Are you okay, Mr. Isaac? Isaac's kind of like, I guess. And then, unfortunately, however, there's 2 more howls in the distance. as those two wolves show up to help. Not quite what I was expecting here, to help out, but the wolf buddy's dead, but I mean not dead, but unconscious on the ground. Let's see, I guess I gotta borrow Pork Chop's token since this is what we have for wolves. Screaming around over here in the corner, two more wolves scream in with a fierce attack. Let's see, I can put the bestiary away. That's that. Common wolves. I have fought common wolves before. They are surprisingly not too hard to tackle, but maybe they do some serious damage. That's not great. Where's my common animals? There we go. Okay. Wolf. 10 hit points each. Bite skill level 14, 2 to 6 damage. And they have an evaded 12. Okay. Well, this is a sudden shocking maneuver coming out of nowhere. Emmett has helped Isaac up at least. At least Isaac's not prone anymore. And Emmett's just shocked. He doesn't quite know what to do. He still has a crossbow in his hand, so he's going to load his crossbow, even with a sleeping dart. There's me. There's Emmett. I'm just going to roll one initiative card for both. One, two, I got one attack each. I guess I can do 2 separate initiative cards for both these wolves, sure. All right. So wolf barrels towards Isaac. They still have to hit. They're kind of animals and not quite monsters. So they do need to roll a skill level of 14 to hit me. That is a dragon. And that's a crit on behalf of that wolf. Well, you know, Isaac is still carrying a shield. I keep forgetting about that. He does got a shield. Still the easiest thing for me to do. Is that I'm going to roll for damage first. 2d6. 7. My armor blocks it. I think the easiest thing to do is for me to lose my shield again. I think that Isaac still has the shield. The wolf comes and barrels on Isaac and smashes into him. And it's just a wooden shield. It must have been fragile from before. Smashes his shield. I like this kind of motif of me constantly having to buy new shields every time I get crit hit. I think it shattered and cracks my shield right in half. Isaac gets to go next. Isaac does hit. Isaac does 2d8. Only does 4 damage on that wolf. The other wolf attacks me. Bite of 14. 10 he hits. I think I'm gonna try to. Oh, I guess I'll take that. I can take that damage. I'll try. We'll see what happens. 2d6. 8. Take another point. Okay. Emmett tries to fire with his crossbow. He does hit. He's going to attack the one of mine that's wounded. He does 3 more points of damage. So let's see here. A lot of hit points these wolves have again. 10 hit points. Let's see. 10. And how much damage did I do? I didn't do very much, like 4, right? And he did 4, so one has 3 hit points. Okay. We've done 7 points damage to one wolf. Okay, new round. I wasn't expecting the wolf thing. Wow. Okay. 2 attacks for me. Emmett. Wolves. We're rolling. I get attack again. I'm gonna roll to hit. I go first. Oh, look at that. That is a dragon right there. Finally, I got my dragon in turn. About time. I'll check that box. Even though I've been fighting a lot of combats, I hadn't done anything. Okay, well, I'm going to double damage on that wolf. You know, I'm going to hit the wolf that's not been hurt. I think that's probably, let's play this smarter, not harder. 2d8, 7, 9, and there's that damage, plus a d4, I forgot. So that first wolf with 10 hit points topples. Okay, boom, that was my combat. I think the second wolf, notices the werewolf is gone, this wolf's gone. I think he's just gonna flee. He's got 3 hit points left. No reason to press my luck. I'm gonna pause it for a second, check the time, and it's probably been long enough. I'll pick this up in a new video. Thank you very much. Take care.